Alright, good afternoon. I'm going to play through this game here that I played earlier, or maybe a couple days ago. Down here is the analysis. If anybody's interested, the computer kind of analyzes some of your moves. But anyway, I'm white. Pawn to queen 4, pawn to queen 5. That's pretty normal. Queen's gambit. Declined. Also, it says up here at the top of the screen what the variation is, but nothing special there. Normal development. Normal development. Pretty normal. I thought that might be a little premature, but you know the computer says it's not a bad move. It's fine. As you can see down here at the bottom, the computer doesn't like this move. It says a better move was c5, but that move didn't seem too bad. Everything's pretty normal. Get my bishop out. The computer doesn't like this move. I backed it up to a4 there, my bishop. The computer says I should have backed up to d3, but I like the idea of keeping the pin on that pawn. It does give up that pawn there, that knight captures pawn. I knew that was coming, but I wasn't worried about it because I planned on playing that move, which I knew would cause black's knight to have to back up, which it does. It backs up, and it's my turn, and I castle. Black plays b5, and I come back to there. Still pretty normal setup. Queen to a5. It seems a little early for that queen move. See, black still has his queen's knight and queen bishop sitting on their original squares. He hasn't castled. It seems a little early to bring your queen out, especially when I don't really see much of a threat by this move. Poor development. That's my motto. Alright, so that helps me develop and gains me a tempo because black has to move his queen, which he does. The computer, as you can see down at the bottom, doesn't like this move. It's telling me to play a4, I think. Yeah, so I play rook on a to d1. I'm just trying to strengthen my center. Knight to a6, that's kind of an awkward looking move. As you can see, the computer down here at the bottom is recommending that black should have played a5 right there and expanded on the queen side. You'll see over the next few moves that the computer keeps recommending that black start pushing this queen side pawn majority down the board, right? Anytime you've got some sort of advantage in a chess game, you want to roll with it. But black doesn't. Black plays knight to a6. He is getting his knight into the game, and he's probably aiming for this b4 square to attack my queen. I slide another rook over. Knight to a4. I was pretty sure that move was coming. I'll take that out. I knew that was coming, obviously. And queen to e4. See, the black king is stuck in the middle of the board at the moment. This is kind of dangerous. I like the idea that this queen here is now pinning the pawn, and I can maybe start to push up the board and get some pins going. And black castle, so much for that plan. As you can see, the computer is still recommending that black should have played a5 right there. Knight to g5, threatening mate. Obviously, queen captures h7 would be mate, so black has to defend against that, which he does. And I'll threaten mate again. Queen to h4, threatening queen captures h7 mate. And black has to defend against that. But now you can see the black is really in trouble here. He's starting to open up his king side. I got a little bit of a pawn majority in the center here, so I start pushing things down the board. Black's trying to continue his development. e5, still pushing down, gaining that center, or gaining that space in the center. And knight to d5, that looks pretty normal. The computer doesn't like my next move here, as you can see. I play this move. The computer says I should have played, what's it say down there, g4. You know, I really considered this move, g4. But I was so hesitant to do it because of the opening up my king side. I considered this move to pry open all the pawns around the king, but against a short game, it was only like a 3-minute game, so I didn't have much time to calculate any variations or anything. But the computer down here, as you can see, recommends it as the best move. Obviously, it was the best move, but I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it opened up my king side, so I passed over it and played this other move instead. My plan is to bounce the knight onto f6 there and play the check. Now, black finally plays a5, but at this point, the computer doesn't like that move because there's a lot of problems happening over here on the black king side, and black has got to get some defenders over there. So he's waited too long to expand on the queen side. My move, I play the check here. I know that black's going to play knight captures knight, but that's okay because I'm taking defenders away. And I see that the queen's stuck over there and the bishop is stuck, and if I can just get rid of this knight, I really got a good looking game here. I kind of debated on whether to capture with the queen or the knight or the pawn, but I like the pawn because it really just holds the king there. Now that black pawn can't move to free up the king space, and it's just kind of holding that black king in space in the same spot. Really not a good move, not a good move by white. He's waited too long to go with this plan of expanding on the queen side. He really needs to sense the danger here and get some pieces over to the king side and get some defense going. So I come down here, just keeping my bishop. Rook on a to d8. What's the computer? The computer says they should have played bishop to e8. That makes sense. Now I'm bringing the rook into the game because I just want to slide it right on over here in front of the black king. As you can see, black's pieces are just all tied up. There's just not much he can do. He's waited too long to defend. Is it my imagination, or did he just back the bishop? I don't know what he's thinking here. He moves the bishop back, I guess, to let the rook come out. I don't know what he's doing. So now I'm lined up right in front of the black king. Things are looking bad for black. He gets himself out of the way so he's not pinned, but it's too late. Slide the queen over there. Now here's where it got pretty interesting. This really wasn't any kind of a brilliancy move. It was pretty obvious, but I'm going to play rook captures pawn here and sacrifice this rook because it's just going to blow this position wide open. Rook captures pawn, pawn captures rook, queen captures pawn, and now black is in some serious trouble. His king is just wide open. He's got to make that move. What's the other option? Queen to c7. Yeah, he had a slightly better option, but things aren't looking good either way. Because you can see my bishop and queen are lined up here. I'm threatening to play queen to h7 mate, so he has to defend it. I kind of thought that was a good move at first until I realized I could just take it. So now he's dropped the rook. And he brings his rook back. Maybe that was his plan all along, but it's going to fail. His king's just too open. Check. This king moves out of the way. That doesn't look too awful bad at the moment. Another check. This king seems to be getting away, but here comes another rook into the game, right? Once you're attacking, you got to get all your pieces in the game instead of just trying to win with one or two pieces. Here comes the queen trying to play a little defense. Queen to h6. There's the other piece I just brought into the game. What's it say? The computer's kind of showing me down at the bottom. There were some better moves, but I can tell the game's pretty much over here. The king's on the run. Check. I think yeah, down here at the bottom it shows you where I could have made a little quicker, shorter work of it. So rook captures rook, king captures rook. Check. King's trying to move away. Check. Wins the queen. This king's just on the run. He's got nowhere to go. I'm getting ready to get another queen up here, and I think, yeah, black resigned right there. So a pretty quick game, but nice little rook sacrifice there when everything opened up. You know, as you can see back here, all of black's pieces are just stuck over there. You know, he can't, he's waited too long to defend himself, and everything opens up over here. And then the final rook sacrifice just opens everything up, and it's pretty academic from there, you know. Thank you.